today to answer the number one question I get about eating more plants. Where is my protein coming from? And I am going to help you answer that question along with showing you a day in the life of plant-based eating that's going to include breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all 5 ingredients or less, and very minimal cooking. So all great things. So let's start with breakfast. Yes, there are great breakfast recipes and tons of things like overnight oats, pancakes that you can make in advance, even plant-based eggs that you can certainly incorporate in for plant-based protein. But why overcomplicate it? Sometimes it's just about good old milk and cereal. So I have this Silk Next plant-based milk here, and what I love about this is a game changer for plant-based cooking. It's super creamy and has that sort of whole milk type of texture and consistency that you can sometimes be missing in plant-based milks because they tend to be thinner since you're taking that plant and combining it with water. But this is really getting that creaminess because they're using oat and coconut milk, which tend to have a thicker component. In addition to that, you're getting your protein from your milk. So you're getting 4 to 7 grams of plant protein, depending how much you're putting into your cereal. And then you have your granola. And what I like about granola is it is heartier than cereal. And that's something that you want to make sure, especially for breakfast, that you're focusing on something that's going to fill you up. And with 7 grams of protein per half cup, even if you cheat a little bit more, you're getting that 4 grams of fiber paired with the protein in your milk. And then if you want to be a little bit savory, I have some Light Life Smart Bacon. I use this all the time because I love that it crisps up like regular bacon. I put it in a little bit of oil, which is going to give it that flavor. And you can see I'm going to crunch it. And you get that beautiful crisp. So it makes a really good topper. And in 2 slices of bacon, you're getting 5 grams of protein. And you also are getting a lower amount of sodium than a live bacon and definitely the saturated fat. You're not getting any saturated fat because it's plant-based bacon. So they have a lot of breakfast products. They also have a lot of grounds products if you want to go that route for something a little bit more savory too. So it's always very easy to tack on a plant-based meat substitute to something sweet and simple if you have it ready to go and you feel like you want that little extra oomph. Maybe you're going to be doing more throughout the day, and getting that protein, is important if you're going to have a bit more active day, or if you know that your lunch is going to maybe be a little bit farther away than you would like. So there we go. And how easy is that? We love simple, and again, sometimes we overcomplicate what doesn't need to be complicated, and a bowl of cereal milk or granola and milk is exactly what you need with a little salty and savory plant-based treat on the side. So we're off to a great start with our breakfast, but like I said, sometimes you want a little bit more protein for breakfast because it might be a while before lunch. And I say this a lot, I think lunch is the forgotten meal. So often we talk about breakfast being the most important meal of the day, and it is extremely important because it is breaking the fast. It's the first thing we're eating, it's getting us going. But what about lunch? What about that meal that's got to get us to dinner so that we don't, hit the snacks too hard, and we want something nourishing. We want to be able to use it, but if there's one meal where we have a time crunch, I do feel like it's lunch. So it can be kind of tricky to make sure we're getting everything that we need. So when we talk about plant-based eating, there is sometimes a misconception that that means absolutely no animal products at all. And one of the things about plant-based is it's very much a definition for you. It's supposed to mean you're eating more plants. So if you do want to get in some animal proteins or fish proteins, which I love fish because it has so many good nutrients, using canned tuna, but using really tuna that you can feel good about is a really nice option. So again, we're trying to make this simple. What's more simple than popping open a can of tuna? This is Wild Planet. It is sustainably sourced. It is whole caught, so you can feel good about the aquaculture practices that they are doing and using with this product. They put a whole albacore tuna into the cans, so you are getting tons of EPA and DHA, which are omega-3s that if you are eating a primarily plant-based diet, that might be something that you would be lacking along maybe with B vitamins. So if you do talk to your doctor and need some supplementation, or if you decide to do kind of an 80-20 situation with your plants and your animal proteins, having having something like this is a great way to get those nutrients. And then to make it even better, so when we make a tuna salad, you normally would do tuna and mayonnaise to keep it simple. But I am going to up not just the nutrition, but the protein. And we are going to use tahini instead of mayonnaise. So mayonnaise is providing that binder, that fat source. We have a good healthy fat here, but in 2 tablespoons of this mighty sesame tahini, you are getting 7 grams of protein. In addition to the 23, that you're getting in your canned tuna fish, that's 30 grams of protein just from your tuna salad right here. And what I love about this product, if you ever bought tahini before in a jar, this is just nice and squeezable. It makes it so much easier to portion, and it makes it so much easier for cleanup. You're not scraping the jar, and then you just shake it up the next time you're gonna use it, have it in the fridge. So wonderful. So you're also probably wondering why I used the tahini. It goes with my flavor profile. So maybe I'm not cooking something elaborate for lunch, but that doesn't mean that we still can't use semi-homemade ingredients to put something together that tastes good. So I have some Asian salad kit here that has a sesame dressing. So we're pairing all of that together. So flavor-wise, we're really getting all of those delicious flavors. And you cannot go wrong with a bag salad kit. It's got everything you need. It's gonna have texture, it's gonna have the dressing. Most of the time, I eat a bag salad kit all for myself for lunch because why not get all of these leafy greens? Again, it's going to fill you up. But then what I do is I just don't use the whole dressing because that's usually more than you need, especially if you're going to combine it with something like a tuna salad. So I generally will use half of the dressing packet. But in this case, I am going to, since most dressings in a plant-based salad are not plant-based because the bag salad isn't a plant-based salad, I'm going to sub in this Marie's plant-based dressing. So it's always good to have a dressing on hand if maybe you're not too keen on the one coming in the bag. And I love the Marie's because the flavor profiles, you can see here, we have this creamy dill ranch. They have a Meyer lemon one that is so good. And I love that they are creamy, dreamy, plant-based flavors, but without the dairy. So it's really wonderful that you can get that in. So I am going to use that sesame dressing, but I didn't have to cut up any of my veggies, which we love. And I'm going to use some mango salsa. So we're getting that 50% of our vitamin C that comes from one mango. We're getting wonderful sweetness, but without that added sugar. And I think it's nice when we can play into those tropical, colorful flavors and add some fruit to our lunch. So that is what I'm doing here with the mango. And again, if you want the benefits of mango and you want to keep it limited on the amount of work that you have to do, then simply just use that pre-cut mango salsa in the produce department, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to top it with our tahini tuna, and I'm going to toss it together. And you have that 30 grams of protein from our tuna and our tahini. You have the beautiful plant-based sesame dressing that's complementing that bagged salad. You have the sweetness and the tartness coming from the mango. And all we did was put a bunch of stuff in a bowl. And I am going to just top it with these wonton pieces of the almonds, just to get a little bit of extra crunch coming from that salad kit. And I'm not kidding, this is really what my lunch usually looks like most days. I'm obsessed with having a giant bowl and sitting in front of a nice big salad, eating it over a nice period of time. Even if it's while you're doing work, you can really get some delicious and nutritious lunches from simple ingredients. So on to dinner. And this is really where I want to keep it super simple. So we're going to make a meat sauce. Now, I am sure if you are someone who has a family member who's known for their meat sauce, whether it's a bolognese, whether you call it gravy, that I'm probably going to upset some people with the simplicity here, but that's what it's about. It might not be, the most traditional sauce, but we're going to make it simple. So I have my field roast fennel Italian garlic sausage here. This is a plant-based sausage, and I wish that you could smell how delicious the fennel and the garlic and the roasted red peppers in here smells. And I love using a sausage as a base for a meat sauce because you are getting so much flavor from just your protein source. And the wonderful thing about this is 26 grams of protein per serving. So again, you're asking where is my protein coming from in a plant-based day of eating. You've got plenty of it. And we've also gotten plenty of vegetables, which is the point of eating more plants. So I just like to chop them up into points, and we're gonna get some sizzle on this because my pan is hot. Okay, I'm trying to heat up a little bit more. There we go. And then to the sausage, ideally you want it to brown and get those brown bits on the bottom, because that's where more of that flavor is going to come from. If you want to, you can also, instead of doing it in the coin shape, you can, because on this, the casing comes off very easily because it's not an animal casing like a normal sausage. You can crumble it up and go the crumbled route, or you can use a mashed potato masher, a meat masher, and kind of just mash it up to get that consistency. Totally up to you. Then I like to grab from the produce section the pre-prepped produce, and I like to add some celery, carrots, and onions to this. Again, you can just do celery, you can just do onions, but I like to, when I'm thinking about eating plant-based, it for me has to do with where am I adding and how am I adding more plants. So I'm sauteing that up. And as those vegetables sweat out, and you can see how quickly, because my pan was nice and hot, I'm gonna pull it out to just show you the caramelization that we got on that plant-based sausage. That's all flavor right there. So if you're worried about, where's the flavor coming from in plant-based dishes, we're getting it still in these components of our plant-based protein sources. If you want, you can add a little bit of Italian seasoning, but between the celery, onion, carrots, and also all the flavor that's coming from this amazing field roast sausage, I'm going to just let it be at that, because the way that I make this shortcut is you get your favorite brand of a jarred tomato sauce. You can use a fresh pesto. We also have a vegan Alfredo sauce in our roll and basket line, and you're just going to pour this in. And then that sauce is going to deglaze the pan. We're going to let it all come together. Now, before you add your sauce, if you like to add wine to your sauce, if that's something that you have in your house, you can deglaze with a little bit of wine. But we're going to mix this all together. Let it come to a boil, and then let it simmer for as long as you want to. And then you have this really rich and sort of cooked all day tasting sauce that you didn't have to do any chopping. So if you want to do a little bit of slicing on the sausage, you got your pre-cut veg, you got your jarred sauce, and you brought it all together to make something that tastes more complicated than it is. To say nothing of the 26 grams of protein per serving that you're getting from that sausage. So you can see throughout all the meals that we cooked today, from our breakfast to our lunch to our dinner, they're colorful, they're protein packed, they're 5 ingredients or less, and they're simple meals. And that checks a lot of boxes for a day of any eating, whether it's with plants or not. And that's a lot of different concepts that you can weave into any of the meals that you're making for your daily day in the life. So hopefully this is helpful. You can feel free to check out our ShopRite.com/welleveryday page to look for attributes on that page to help you find plant fitness ingredients for a vegan diet, for dietary-friendly diets, and anything in between, so that you feel helped along in your wellness journey. And as always, we are here to help, so make sure you like this video and follow along for more. Thanks so much.